you guys enjoy this video, and if you like the video, like the video.
This is Mixla Production.
This is how my 5 a.m. journey started. I was waking up at 7:30 a.m., not a bad hour at all, but I was thinking to myself where I could find my most quality time, and I honestly was seeing that I was gonna find more quality time in the mornings than in the evenings. But after deciding that, I was like, yo, how do you actually wake up at 5 a.m.? I mean, it's kind of early. And that is when I hit YouTube. And the one guy I found in my research that I was like, I think he knows what he's talking about, was Thomas Frank. His 3 principles of finding movement, light, and hydration in the morning. Those are the 3 key things that he rides by to wake up early. So yeah, I decided I'd give that a shot. But I gotta be honest, I tried waking up for like a week at 5 a.m. Just set the alarm, you know, have some water out or something, try to open the shades when I get up, all the 3 principles that Thomas Frank talks about, and I was getting nowhere. How do I get past this barrier of my body not wanting to wake up earlier? I came to the realization that I needed to identify the fault points in not being able to wake up. You know what I mean? Like, I expect that probably like engineers do this. Astronaut people do this. The people that work, the people that get astronauts in space, you know what I mean? People that have to solve problems, I assume, do this, where you try, it doesn't work, and then you identify what were the points where I fell through, where were the points that that did not allow me to accomplish the goal. And then once you've identified those points, you can then address those points one by one. And that's exactly what I did. So the points of failure that I identified I needed to beat were 1, beat the cold, 2, beat the darkness, 3, beat the quiet, and 4, beat my lack of movement as I'm sitting in bed dreaming away. Guys, I completely forgot to mention in this intro, all 4 of them are great, but the second one is pretty innovative, and the 4th one is, oh my gosh, game changer. I would not wake up without it. After a week of failing and identifying these 4 points of failure, I figured if I could defeat these points of failure, there was a very good chance that I would be able to then wake up consistently at 5 a.m. So here's what I did. 1, to beat the cold. I like to sleep with a fan on because the white noise, the air movement, it's amazing. If you don't sleep with a fan, what are you doing? But the problem with the fan is it makes the room colder. So I had to turn that fan off somehow. So I basically connected a little smart switch to the fan plug, and then through my Amazon Echo device, not sponsored, I was then able to set a voice command to have the fan shut off at a certain time. And that works well. However, I found that even when the fan shut off, the cold air was still coming in through my open window. So I needed to figure out how to fix that. So one thing I did, I was like, yo, when I don't want to get out of bed because I'm in my blankets. What if I could bring my blankets with me? Still haven't figured out a way to do that, but the next best thing was to have a bathrobe hanging right beside my bed. When my alarm went off, I could pull that bathrobe into my bed, warm it up, and then when my second alarm went off, I could just essentially get out of bed with my warm blanket on and I'd be fine. I also wanted to get a device to shut the window, but that's kind of out of my price range at this moment. We're going with the $14 robe. Number 2, I had to beat the darkness. If you know how light works and the hormone melatonin being released in your brain and the circadian rhythms, you understand why it's so important to have light in the morning to wake you up. But if you don't know any of that, suffice it to say, you need light in the morning to wake up. The problem is when you're waking up at 5 a.m., there isn't always light outside to wake you up naturally. So I needed to find some kind of artificial way to engage light right when I wake up. That was kind of an issue. For some reason, it's really hard to find lights that will go on at an exact time when you want them to, but then you can easily change the time if you need to. And so the thing I kind of ended up with was a little bit of a compromise, but I think it works pretty well. Basically, I bought 2 of the Amazon lights, Echo Dot light. I can't remember what they're called. It's somewhere on the screen here. But I got 2 of them, one to go in my room and one to go in the hallway, essentially so I would have like a pathway of light toward the bathroom where hydration and a face wash and other waking up things will be. I pretty much have them go on via voice command, the same voice command that will turn off the fan. Big brain. The nice thing about these is you can control their brightness, which you probably can do with a lot of other devices like the Echo Dot light things, but these work pretty well. I have them at 20% brightness so that my eyeballs don't get blown out of my skull and I pull my covers over my head and escape the onslaught of the sun that has entered into my room. Next, number 3, I had to beat the quiet and tranquility of my room that allows me to get to sleep. And the way I did that is the regular way that everyone else does it. I use an alarm clock. And this one I have, it's decent. I don't know what it's called, but it's got a not blaring alarm, so I can wake up kind of gently, and it's got 2 alarms I can set. So I set one to go off and then one to go off another 5 minutes later. So I can kind of slowly be waking up, you know what I mean? Next! Number 4, finally, I had to beat my lack of movement because movement is one of the key things that Thomas Frank talked about, and I agree with him. If I'm not moving in the morning, I'm definitely gonna be like wanting to fall back asleep. So I needed to find some way to get up quickly. That was actually where I really struggled. I was trying to find how I could have like an alarm across the room, and I was looking up gun alarms, and I was looking up crazy bomb alarms and these super weird, I don't even know what I was looking at. I was searching all over Amazon and I didn't like what I found. So I created my own alarm. I got this recorder, which is technically supposed to go in stuffed animals, and it has a really loud volume. And I recorded onto that little recorder a super random collage of Chicken Little sounds from the movie Chicken Little. Then I got a little switch bot. It's just basically like a little switch that comes out and pushes buttons on command. And it really gets me out of bed super quick because it plays super loud. It's gonna wake everyone in the house and my neighbors because the window's open. So you best be believing I get out of bed super fast for that. And guess how that's triggered? With the exact same voice command that I use to turn off the fan, turn on the lights. So I have it go on like 5 minutes after I say the command so that I can kind of like be waking up, moving. And if I get out of bed early, I can just push the button to turn it off and it won't go off. So yeah, it's good. Finally, after that point, I just addressed the last area of hydration. I grabbed the water bottle that I had filled up the night before, be sipping on that as I'm doing some kind of simple, productive activity, like cleaning up a tiny section of my room or I don't know, something else simple. Past all of those strategies that I was attempting, I had one more thing that I had to address, which was the debate between waking up incrementally earlier or just going straight from 7:30 to 5 a.m. Because there is a debate out there and there's like scientific articles and there's like numbers and studies and all this stuff that I don't understand. The first couple of days I tried, I was like, okay, I'm a 7:30 guy, I'm gonna start waking up at 7. And then the third day came and I was like, screw it. And I just went straight to 5 a.m. And my body hated me, but I did adjust. And now I feel kind of trash if I wake up after 5 a.m. So my body is definitely adjusting to the new new. A couple things that can make this not work is when the ecosystem doesn't actually function. I've had a couple of times, rather a couple of dozen times, where I tried to use the wake word, which is essentially just like the keyword I use, like good morning echo or whatever, and then it won't trigger, or maybe the system goes offline, and then my entire morning routine gets screwed up and I may not wake up until 7 or something. It's really weird. But for the most part, it works. Like I would say over 90% of the time, this system works. And when it works, it works. I get up consistently at 5 a.m. So that's cool. The other thing that can make this not work so well is extended sleep deprivation, which I definitely don't know anything about. Yeah, I know a lot about it because I'm not getting the sleep I need. I found if I'm not getting enough sleep on a regular basis, basically my body will just rebel and not wake up. But those are the only two things that I found really can mess this system up and keep me from actually waking up at 5 a.m. Other than that, like I said, it works super well for me. So what about you? What do you think? Do you have any ideas on how to make this system better? I honestly realize there are so many ways to make this system better, and I'm really excited to see what might come about, but I just have a tiny little brain all by myself, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts, opinions. All right, you cool cats, I hope that was helpful. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Habits out.